Hey there, guys. Just wanted to make a video just on personality and why being a person causes so many issues. Um, yeah, just basically, if you're not a person, if you don't get personal, if you're not there as a person, there can't be a problem because all problems come from the person. Because the person is fear and desire, basically. So the problems come from the things you want, the things you desire, the obviously the fears, like whenever you're there as a person or you're personal, those two things exist because that's what the person consists of, fear and desire, basically. So if you don't get personal, there can't be a problem because you're not there as the person, the heavy person, the heavy personality. You're there as the consciousness which is underneath that, which is what you actually are, which everything appears in that. The personality appears in the consciousness. So if you're not there as, if you don't get personal, there can't actually be a problem because you're then walking around as the unified field of awareness. So when you're there as that, there's just life, there's just the emptiness. So when you're there as that, there can't be a problem. But on the one hand, it does mean giving up fear and desire. It does mean, which is a sort of sacrifice, because it means losing everything. It means losing the so-called benefits of that, of personal desires, and yeah. So it does mean giving that up, but it's worth it. It's, if you can have peace of mind, like unconditional peace of mind, then the only, and you know that all you have to do is give up that, then surely it's worth it, isn't it? It's worth it to give that up, because then there's not this constant drive that's moving you. You're moving from, you can then make rational decisions from a place of like clarity and contentment. You can make decisions, a lot more clearly, because you're not moving from this thing that's constantly doing one thing after the other. It's never satisfied. It's like, it's one thing, and then if you do that, it's there's a period of satisfaction, but then it doesn't last very long, and then you have to do something else. You know what I mean? Like, it's exhausting living from that. Whereas if you move from the consciousness, you can still do things. It doesn't mean you stop doing things, but you probably do less things because you're doing it from a place of clarity, and like a place where you can actually reflect on stuff, and make a rational decision, rather than just this ego driven, where it's just sort of one thing after the other, where there's not really any conscious intention behind it. It's just sort of driven by what's the word, it's just sort of spontaneously driven, without any sort of thought, but without any it's not spontaneous, isn't the word. It's sort of driven from this this urge, isn't it? It's this constant sort of urge to get things fulfilled, to find fulfillment. But you are fulfillment, so you don't need to seek it outside of you. You move from the place of true fulfillment, and then you can do stuff from that space. Like I said, it doesn't mean you stop doing things. You still do things, but from a place of wisdom, which isn't personal. It's not a personal. It's not a personal thing. So, cheers.